was fine, said it from a coffin. Remember how I died when you started walking? That's my life, that's my life. I'll put up a fight, taking out my earrings. Don't you know the vibe? Don't you know the feeling? Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, Definity, Devi, daCAT, Shiro update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. This is not attached to my X. Hold on, let me go and see if I could edit this and I could add my X accounts. And I will save those changes. There we go. I'll go and do that right now. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, the StreamYard sometimes spazzes, but we're good now. That was some, I don't know who that was. Is that Sabrina Carpenter? No, Gracie Abrams. I think that was her. Hold on, let me go in and just tell a couple of people that I am here. Come support your bags, girl. We have a bit to go over today. What's the title of this thing? How the trade war will affect VeVe, OMI, Devi, Definity, daCAT, Shiro. Yeah. I was up most of last night because everyone was freaking out. They would not they would not let me sleep. It was a exciting times. I shouldn't say that. I should probably give respect to some of the people that were really not feeling it. You have a couple of people that are pretty cash heavy. They have some white powder on the side, and they're ready to go in, and they did. They bought the dip. Some people got the actual bottom. Some people bought a little bit, from that. It's like, oh, it can go lower because, if we had lost that $74,000 bottom, there was a buddy of mine that said, like, hey, the next time, form of support, the next strong one is looking like it's going to have a 5 in front of it. And I was like, okay, well, that's do you think it goes there? And he says, I don't know. It depends how we close. And he did a bunch of TA talk. And I said, well, listen, I'm not saying that it won't go down there because anything can happen. It's crypto. But the odds of it going there are probably pretty low. And even if it does, it's likely just going to wick down because you have people like Michael Saylor, like Raoul Powell, like you have all of the, like Larry Fink, like BlackRock. And again, we'll get to Larry Fink later. But you have all of these people that are going to cream themselves. Like they're probably creaming themselves last night at these levels when we were at 74. ETH was at like 1400. There was a freaking mad lad out there. The mad lad had a, where was it? Country's now offering these things. I think I can go to my X account, and I don't remember putting too much of a the Chinese embassy literally just tagged real Donald Trump on X. I think he's legit just not taking their calls, which is heckin' wild. But there's something that I wanted to go over. I unfortunately don't think I have it right now, but it was a guy that had taken out a 20x long position, like $50 million. Like again, let me see if I could find it. Because again, there's a lot. Yeah. 50x whale is back, and he had just opened a $47 million Ethereum long with 20x leverage. Now it's like, okay, well, how did this go? What were the exact numbers? Well, he longed 20x at $47,597,403.71. That's what he had. That's what he 20x the long was. And the entry price was $1,461. So I guess the price, oh my God. So the price, I can't tell if that's the price he was if he would be liquidated at, be 1447. I don't think it was. But what happened was he longed it. And that's like real money. Like you can have certain people be like, oh, we're going to short on this side and we're going to actually long on this one. And some people, what they do is they'll long a position, or I should say this, they'll short a position to wipe out some people, and then buy it back up. But they'll do the opposite as well. They'll long it to wreck the shorts. They'll get people above that, and then it's. But that didn't happen here. This guy is, again, it's real money. Is it like $10 billion? No, but $47 million is nothing to sneeze at. For a 20x leverage position, I don't know if he knew anything. I don't know if that's something that he had inside info from again, BlackRock or Coinbase, but like, yeah, we're only going to let it go to here, or if he knew others had buy positions like just below that. But take a look at CoinGecko. And on CoinGecko, if you go to Ethereum, which is at 1553 now, the low is 1431. It had hit 1431, and then this guy did the long, and it hasn't really gone down there since. But there's a lot that's coming out with this trade war, this trade deal here. I'll just go over some of the news here real quick. So Israel agrees to eliminate trade barriers and trade deficit with the US. There was somebody that had just put in like 70. Watcher Guru reports that 70 countries have reached out to President Trump to negotiate new trade deals, Treasury Secretary Bessent says. And all of this is really for China. We have a very big trade deficit with them. They have a lot of things that they're just not budging on. And you have the midterm elections in about a year and a half. And Trump has until that point, or I would even say like a year and a couple of months, to fix this mess. And I'm not saying like it's a short-term mess. It can likely be cleaned up by everybody coming in and saying like, okay, guys, our economies can't take this. We're not going to play this game with you. What do you want? And Trump says that other countries are now even offering things that we would have never even thought of asking for. So it's working against most of these countries. But China is not most of these countries. They have a super crazy large economy. They've been playing the long game for a long time. And when they've done it, now obviously they're in China, because of their one-child acts policy from years ago, there are like 90% men and like 10% women. Well, how do men compete in the dating market? You have to minimum own at least one property, but you really should own like 2 or 3. If you don't own any property, no girl is going to be with you. Even at 1, it's like, you really should own 2 or 3. So a lot of China's economics is new construction. And there's a lot of towns and cities in China that are just ghost towns. The government subsidizes it. I think that's going to come crashing down at some point. But if anyone ever recalls the episode of The Office where Michael starts his own Michael Scott paper company, he takes, what's his name, and he takes Pam with him. Ryan. He takes Ryan and Pam with him. And his old boss, he goes on and says, like, listen, I know you can't be making very much money. You're probably doing this at a loss, and I know you can't keep this up forever. So we just have to wait you out. And Michael Scott says, well, I know you have a shareholders meeting coming up, and the shareholders will be very curious on why their most profitable branch is bleeding. And if you can't give them any good answers, they might be looking for a new change in CFO. So I don't have to wait out Dunder Mifflin. I just have to wait out you. And I think that's what China's trying to do here, because they don't have to wait for America. Like, they don't have to wait like 6 years to outlast Trump. They just have to wait like another 15 months. Can they do that? Well, probably not. Trump is probably going to make some crazy, like he already made a crazy deal with Vietnam. He's going to make these crazy deals with all the countries that China does, but probably India, in his big one, like anyone in the BRICS nations, and he's going to squeeze them. And again, he has to get this done before next year, during those midterm elections, because if he doesn't, again, if you have a recession, you're done. President's done, Vance is done, like the Bessent is done, like all these people are done. I feel like I've had the comment on for way too long. Sorry. What's up, Bill Gardner? Y'all too slow. Yeah, first man. Um, so there are good and bad things with the tariffs. Obviously, if it's short term, um, I think the Fed had a meeting legit today. I don't know if they were talking about doing rate cuts before May 7th. So May 7th is the next Fed chair meeting. Again, they had something today. I don't know what came of it. The next meetings were the 6th and the 7th, which is strange because on the 7th, not only did you have the Fed meeting, but you also had the Pectra update on ETH. And I just thought that was cool that they were both happen to be on the same day. But now it seems like they might cut rates beforehand because they have to. But one of the things is that when you have these tariffs, like, okay, well, good, now people are going to buy American products, right? Sure, yeah, you're right. But there's going to be a decline in competitiveness from these American companies. Because if you have, let's say this pen was made in America and let's say you could buy it for $1, right? I mean, it's a Chase. I don't know what this costs, but let's say it's $1. But China can sell it to you for 50 cents. It's like, okay, well, what you're going to do to buy it from China is, yeah, you pay 50 cents to China, but you're also going to pay 55 cents to the US government because that's what the tariffs are going to do. I think there's like 100-something% tariffs on it now. So yes, you're going to buy from the American company that can make this for $1 because it's cheaper, but that doesn't incentivize the American company to try to be innovative in these American manufacturing jobs. And again, we're using just the pen as just a whatever. So when you have these protectionist tariffs, tactics like this with these tariffs, it does stifle that innovation. And part of the reason why I always want to say, like, hey, for digital collecting, what's good for VeVe is to grow the hobby. And it would be to have good quality competition. And not that VeVe has done this, but VeVe, if they really wanted to, could have just rested on their laurels and just not have done anything innovative. Thankfully, that's not what they did. They've been extremely innovative. But again, that's the reason you need that competition, and that competition is going to go away if you have these protection of tariffs on it. And the consequences of that arise in a traditional free market system is going to be a loss of revenue for a significant part of whoever would be innovative. I know I got some comments here. I'm sorry. What's up, Bill Gardner? Cooks second, just as I planned. M'Baku forever. I love you guys. Y'all are great. Y'all are my base. Y'all my base. Another thing is that the biggest buyer right now of agricultural products in the U.S. So for farmers, it is China. And if anyone remembers 2018, whenever Trump did, I think it was 2018, Trump did this in the past. China went and said, okay, y'all going to put these tariffs on us. We're just not going to buy, like produce from you. So what Trump had to do was he had to subsidize these farmers that were just kind of had this so much product, they were losing money. And he had to give them, again, Doge has saved like over $250 billion by now. But Trump had to go in and open up the US pocketbook and give these farmers like $28 billion in subsidies. And I think that was back in 2018. And that's something that he'll probably have to do again. And if you're a president that's campaigning on waste and Department of Government Efficiency, and then China suddenly stops buying your products, and just not only that, they could dump the dollar, they could dump all the bond, like they're I don't know how much they have, like $1 trillion worth of our debt. There's a lot that they could do. Now, obviously, again, Xi Jinping is not popular. This whole thing is not popular. Maybe he'll get a little bit of sympathy points from his people here, or maybe not. But those are two major things that China can do. And a friend of mine brought up to me this morning, talking about, actually, we're just talking about it up there, me and my friends, about IP infringement, where China can go in and take, I don't know, what's a good thing that people use. All right, I'm writing daCAT on Microsoft Word, right? And there's Microsoft Office, there's like all these Microsoft things. So what China can do is they can say like, okay, we're going to take the IP of Microsoft Word, we're going to take the code, they can do it, and I think right now you can pay like $8 a month, or you could pay like maybe like $50 or $60 for the year for Microsoft Word and Office and Excel and all that. So China can just go and be like, yeah, we're heck you guys, heck Microsoft. You want to heck with us? We're going to take, you know what, like your multi-trillion-dollar companies over there, and we're just going to say we're going to hand out Microsoft Office for, you know, like $3 a month instead of $8, or $25 for the year instead of 50 something dollars. And that is going to hurt a lot of American business. So China has a lot of tricks up their sleeves that they can do. And I'll tell you that like VeVe has been fighting the uphill battle for for a couple of years now in the bear market. And now granted, they've done so beautifully. It's like they're the kids in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, where they're taking on these like Death Eaters. These are, I've always had this issue with Harry Potter. It's like these kids are like 15 and y'all are supposed to be like the best Death Eaters and like Voldemort's finest. And now granted the kids got their ass kicked, but and VeVe's kind of been waiting for this bull market to come in, and I don't want to say save them. They're in a bear market. They're doing again beautifully. But again, VeVe's been operating at a loss for X amount of months. I don't know how many. And granted, they could keep it up for a while. And even if they couldn't, even if they say, you know what, we can only do this for another year, which is a lie, they can do it for a lot longer. They could go on and say, we're going to, you know, sell 10, 20% of the company, and we're going to raise some money. And they could do that, and they could be good for another like decade. So it doesn't really matter. But again, right now you've had constant losses on the side of people, on the user side. And as this, you know, if this is a recession, I don't know if it is or not. There's like Larry Fink. There's a bunch of people that want to buy Bitcoin, want to buy stocks, all these things super cheap. So of course they're going to say, yeah, it's a big recession. You know, tighten your pocketbooks, because they want people to sell and they want to buy stuff cheap, which I understand, completely understand that. But if let's say they're not, you know, being fear mongers here, and let's say we do go to recession, it's not going to be easier to sell digital collectibles when everything's kind of up in price. Now, obviously, grocery store prices have come down a bit. There are certain things that have come down a bit, but yeah, that's like temporary. And if we do go in this recession, like that is going to likely negatively affect VeVe, OMI, a lot of this stuff. So the good thing that VeVe has done is that they've targeted a lot of people that are middle-aged, which are, I don't want to say middle-aged people are recession-proof or anything, but they're not 21 years old. They're not 30. And some people are. Some people are in their 20s or 30s, and they're just starting family, and they'll have to tighten. Sure. But the beauty with targeting people in their middle age group, late 30s to their 50s, is that they're already making like this peak income. When you're younger and you're 25 and you're just out of college, and you know you're not making as much money. Once you get to like 30, 35, then you're making a little bit more. Obviously, you hit peak income usually in your 40s. And so this does have some recession armor on it, but it is not going to be like, oh, there's going to be no effect, because, you know, we're high-end 3D digital collectibles. They are definitely high-end 3D digital collectibles, but they're not recession-proof. Again, they'll have a little bit of bear armor on there, the body armor, just because of their audience. And again, it can't get much lower. But this is if we do go into that recession, and I'm not saying that we are. I sold I still have the number for the gold and silver logo number 41s. And yeah, Raythax, Bill Gardner, you were super chatting on here yesterday with him. Yeah, he had mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, yeah, good times. Anyway, well, it's not, the deal's not done yet. The deal is we still have to work out the number 41 gold silver logo. I'll let y'all know. But yeah, that's how it would affect VeVe. You know, China has a bunch of things that it can do. Now, if Xi Jinping is feeling a fudge ton of pressure from his people, then that is going to be, yeah, it could be over and could resolve in our favor very quickly. And then, you know, we take off. How and OMI, again, same thing. OMI is it. What's that phrase? Misery loves company, or when it rains, it pours. Although, yes, like I was fully expecting us to go into the 0001s yesterday or this morning, and we did not. We got freaking close, 0002049, but we didn't. And it's like, and Comey did not go down as much as Ethereum or a lot of the top 10. Granted, part of that reason is because there's so many people that have already sold. You just have a lot of that seller's exhaustion. There's not going to sell. At least not at these prices. If it were to go up like 40% in a day, which sounds like a lot, but it really just brings us up to like 2.3, 2.4. You might have a couple people sell. I wouldn't sell there either. But again, certain people do. The recession would not be good for Homie either. You have, okay, Devi, dude. Devi has such a. I was on the phone with a couple of people yesterday, and we got down to like 60. Let me go to the Devi here. We went down to like 64 cents. Yeah, 64.5. And I'd gotten a bit the day before at like 80. 80, yeah, 80-ish. And then I got some at 75, I got some at 73, and I got some at like 60, 68. I missed 69. So anyone ever see Spaceballs where Barf, Lone Star, Princess Vespa, and the lady C3PO? I forget her name. They're like trapped on this planet, and it's like a sand planet, and they're like carrying the girls. They're like, I'm so tired walking over these sand dunes. And Lone Star's like, it's all right. Just over that sand dune is civilization. And Barf says, you said that 3 dunes ago. I got nothing left. And then he goes down because he has nothing left. He is done. I have like over 35,000 Devi now. I have like 30, 36, 37, whatever it is. And how's this? Okay. And I have nothing left. I have nothing left. If anyone wants to buy Dashi, or if they want to go in and put in an offer for the number 41 gold and silver logo, you can. Yeah, January really sucked when I had to pay off like $20,000 in bets. That was rough. So I was on the phone with a couple of people yesterday there, and they were freaking out, and they're like, "Listen, I don't know what's going on. You know, I know that they have this announcement on Tuesday, but I don't know what they're going to talk about. Is it even going to matter? The whole market's dumping. Devi's dumping." I was like, "Yeah, it is dumping right now." And you have 2 options here. There's 2 likely scenarios. It'll keep dumping. You know, you can sell your stuff now, and it can keep dumping, and maybe you buy it back when it's cheaper, or maybe you're a little bit of a bitch, and when it even dips down, you're not going to buy back because of the bitchiness. And I said, or you could dollar cost average a little bit more here, thinking that this is probably only temporary, and that the announcement, whatever they have on Tuesday, I know they have this French partner, they're in France, so it makes sense. They have other announcements. They have a major one coming up in a couple of months. You know, what are you gonna do? What type of man do you want to be? I was talking to all men, and they bought a little bit more at like 65 cents. Now, granted, it was like $50 in gas fees, but we did it. We got them, and it went up to 80 cents. I think now it's back down to 77 cents, but it went up to like 80 cents today. I actually went up to like 80, 79 cents now. Went up to like 81 before. And I didn't even have to read them the Telegram chats, but I can go over that right now. For Devi, because there's a couple of them. Or I thought there was. Am I tripping here? There's a lot of screenshots that I took today. So the first one is about how is the utility of Devi different from Fias, talking about the exchange. And if you didn't know, Fias, Litcraft is built on the Devi blockchain, and Fias is the token for exchanging digital-based assets on the Devi exchange, where Devi is the token for exchanging real-world assets, stablecoins, financial instruments, etc. So there is a difference between the two, and they are both going to have utility. You have Terry saying, in anticipation of a potential TradFi Black Monday, there are articles around the circuit breakers that activate to halt trading for different periods if equities drop by a certain percentage. Considering part of crypto is 24/7 trading, is halting trading a certain product for specific time periods something that Devi Exchange will be able to do when it launches? And Tom Anderson says, at a high level, there is a good reason for those types of actions. There are negatives on those types of actions as well, of course. But I would say in our case is that we've designed a system with the mechanisms that TradFi needs when it's required. And there are too many moving parts to know the specifics of what will happen, but the business and regulatory worlds coalesce. We have the mechanisms to remain the leader in the space. Talking very highly there, Tom. Tom said they were planning to go live today. I don't think they did that. Saying like, how does Devi differ than Fias? Tom says both tokens will interact similarly on the Devi exchange, but with different categories. Fias will work with gaming, metaverse, social, and gig economic tokens. Devi will work with stablecoins, traditional crypto, and real-world assets. And I think that might have been it for Devi. It was. All right, we got to go to Definity here. All right, Definity, where you at? Definity was supposed to have some buyback soon. They're supposed to have a partner do some buying. 1.6 cents. I think he said yes. I have the gold logo. I didn't. The red secret rare is what rate that's. Meow, probably not that much. Yeah. Gotta get that Devi money. You gotta get that bread. And Garner says, I would sell the 41 secret rare for less than 50K. If you want to offer that, if you want to offer me 45K for my number, like I will take that. I will take that. Bill Garner, you reach out with an offer and we will discuss. Lil Ren said, he says, congrats on the sale, Randy. Must have been a hard one to get going. I mean, everybody wants these, but the hardest thing was really just letting it go because, yeah, this is likely one of the best sets on VeVe. And like, I'm not just like I don't have them anymore. I mean, obviously, I still have this one, but it's probably one of the best sets on VeVe. Yeah. Partner statue, great. Secret Spider-Man, great. The normal gold logo, great. But fudge, man, the number 41s of the VeVe, like that is going to be worth a crazy high amount in the future. Subcom says, problem, most complicated products use services and components from all over the world. That is a problem. Granted, a ton of stuff comes out of China. But the rest of the world it seems to be getting on board with, okay, all right, yeah, let's do this new tariff deal. But yeah, China's a big one. That they're a big economy, and yeah. Anyway, Jay Coolcast says Shiro family here looking fresh. Well, I have some. What is this doing here? I do have some Shiro news to go over as well, but I got to get to Definity for continue on Definity. They have $8,000 in volume. Actually, not horrendous. Shout out to Crypto Queen, aka Queen One Crypto, for coming on the podcast. She'll be on. When is this date? Thursday? Oh, she'll be on Thursday, April 10th. I'm off work, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Ooh. Yeah. Let's do 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, sweet. So hopefully that'll work for her. Also, what I'm gonna do here before I move forward with the rest of my data here, I'm going to ask everyone to smash that like button. Free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, special super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Gotta love that. Be great. All right. I will get a good amount of Definity this month. That is one of the things I did promise, and I will do it. I will let you know when. I'll let you know when I have it. As long as it stays at this level, I'll keep it. But if it goes to where it should be, I'll definitely sell a little bit of it. Obviously, most of the, I don't want to say Devi profits, most of the Devi loans that I do, meaning that, you know, let's say Devi is $5 by the time the exchange comes up, which is really not a ton. I'll do like maybe like 30K. You know, I'll do like 25. If OMI's still down here, I'll do like 25K in loans. I'll borrow 25K against it, and then I'll buy OMI with it. You know, it'll just get me another 100 million. But I honestly believe that by the end of, after the exchange launches, Devi goes to like $20, and I'm not even talking blow off top. And let's say the first 25,000 that I did when it was at $5, you know, let's say that's 150K. Let's say they do 50% loan to value. Actually, that wouldn't work. I don't know what they would do loan to value. So I might actually not do anything at that price at $5. I probably wouldn't do anything. But at $20, let's say they do 50% loan to value. And let's say I have like 700K. I'll borrow 350. I'll borrow everything, because $20 I think is not undervalued, but is definitely not even close to the potential that Devi could reach. And you do 5x that. So let's say at 700,000, I borrow 350 because they can do 50%. They might be able to do 70%, which would be nuts. I'll get my billion OMI. Heck, if OMI gets cut in half, I could do 3 billion OMI. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's say I'll get the billion OMI. And I wouldn't have to sell the Devi. I would get to be able to get the Definity, more Shiro, more daCAT. For Shiro, they had I think I went over the staking and the announcements yesterday for Saturday that Hero did. So I have a show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is with All Dolled Up from Sharby. Her hubby Hero is like one of the main spokespeople for Shiro. And we had Stephen Bliss on today. He's an ex Rockstar gaming artist, and he's got this crypto called Luby. It's on Sol, and he was asking just about like ambassadors. How do you pay for them? Because there's a lot of scams out there. It's like, well, you have to make sure that who you're dealing with is who you're dealing with. But I was telling him, I was like, when I go and people sponsor the channel, whatever, a lot of times it's 75% cash and 25% tokens, but I don't sell the tokens. I would go in and say like for Shiro, I had said, hey, I won't sell these tokens until we reach $100 million market cap. And I wasn't giving like just a random arbitrary like big number that wasn't backed by any particular data point. At the time, they were $13 million market cap, or like 13 and a half. It's like, okay, we could do like a 7x from here, and you get to 100 million. Then done. You know, I get that, bread. But what happened was, well, obviously, you know, we've had this recession, bear market, tariff, trade war go on, so it went down, as did everything. But I gave the 100 million because that's not I don't know the words for this. That's not an impossible goal. That is well within the realm of possibility. And I thought, like, okay, like when it eventually does that, because towards the end of the bull market, everything is going to go nuts. and they probably should as well. They're not just a meme coin. They will turn profit this year, especially if that head animator could get back to me. Shirou, I don't know his name. We could definitely get something done with them. And I also, I deserve to take a little bit, Same thing with daCAT. I had never received tokens from anyone at the daCAT place prior to me getting the IP. I just like, hey, I like this project. I like Pro the Doge. He's a friend, and they're all friends now. And I told him, like, listen, I'll buy down here, and I'll make you guys the promise that I won't sell anything until we reach a $10 million market cap. And part of the reason I would do that was just so I can go in and pay for the tattoo. Shiro, same thing. Shiro, when I reach $100 million market cap and I'm able to sell, I will get a Shiro tattoo. Get a Shiro tattoo at $100 million market cap, daCAT at a $10 million market cap. And then Devi, I think at a price point of $30, I'll get a Devi tattoo. Definity, I'll do something with as well. I haven't talked to Manu about that yet. So yeah, shout out to all the Shiro fams here. Love those peeps. Yeah. Sean Berg says he also spent $40 million on his service and crew around golfing so far. Okay, when he goes golfing, is he just doing it for the heck of it, or is he getting deals done on the golf course? Likely getting deals done. Those are business made. Agreed, 100,000%. Edward Esperantes, extra tariffs on the Pilot Fantasy NFTs. I don't think so. Hold on, let me get back to this lady here. Yes, ma'am. Spend over a thumb. Talking about you now on live. Send me a photo for the thumbnail. Can I use your real name? Question mark. We good with that? Okay. Schomburg says a lot of business meetings, like as the president of the United States, he has business meetings every hour. Maybe Zombie says, yo, what up, Zombie? Meow, 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 meow. How's it going, fam? Oh God. Lugar says, that's what Real Boss does, make deals. And he's having golf deal meetings for like 25. Yeah, he's been doing that for not his whole life. I mean, made most of his life. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Let's get to we have so much news to go over. Where was I? Yesterday? What did I have yesterday? I don't remember. Okay, India to negotiate a new and balanced trade deal with the U.S. to avoid President Trump's tariffs. Vietnam offers to remove all tariffs. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says trillions of dollars of factories are going to be built in America. Hua Sergeant. The market crash was not part of President Trump's plan, White House advisor says. Went over the OMI stuff yesterday with Dr. Profit. Also for daCAT, so the first comic obviously has been written for a while. The second comic is almost done. I'm at like page 34, 35, and I'll try to do 45 pages. I really want to keep it under 50 because, again, the longer it is, the more money I have to pay the artist. So, just in Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to meet with President Trump. I think that's today, right? Negotiate a new tariff deal. He did, and I think Trump said he was going to keep the tariffs on because we've given them a lot of financial aid in the past. Zimbabwe to remove tariffs on all U.S. imports to build a positive relationship with President Trump. This is great. I like the new Up Air Blues. I like the new look. Typo in your header. Should read it. Not should read. Is it? I don't know. I don't know about that. Bogart says probably even longer. I forget what I was talking about 17 minutes ago. Cool Moses, Zombie in the house. Yo, what up, fam? Meow, meow, meow. Yeah. All right, let's continue on. The other profit stuff shouldn't really matter. Looking check market, we're red. Okay, cool beans. Look at my doggo. Look at how beautiful he is. The majestic creature. You have William Johnson saying, you know what is blazing fast? Stacker. I transferred OMI from base to Stacker, what felt like instantly, and made a purchase all within a minute for a 3-digit reso under the floor that was on VeVe. Thank you. JP Morgan says the Fed may have to cut interest rates before the next meeting. And again, they had one today. I don't know what the ramifications of that were. President Trump says sometimes you have to take medicine when asked about the current market conditions. 28 years ago today. If you know, you know. Oh my God. 28 years ago yesterday, I should say. If you know, you know. That was such a great segment. Oh my God, that was awesome. Live TV is so great, especially in the 90s. President Trump says someday people will realize that tariffs for the United States of America are a very beautiful thing. They can be. They can be. Zombie. Simo. You call him Simo? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We can call him Simo. He told us to calm the desert. We're calling the desert. We ain't found shit. Oh my God. That is such a great movie. Billionaire Mark Cuban says, don't sell. It will come back. I just don't know how long it'll take. Fair point. Jim Cramer predicts another 20% stock market crash today. On Sunday, he predicted that. Clearly, it didn't happen. So that was nice. Japan they suspended them. Cool. UK and German stock fell. Yeah, German, they got hecked. Japanese Prime Minister says he's ready to visit the US to negotiate tariffs with President Trump. Taiwan stocks fell crazily yesterday. The girl in the... All right, we had a little bit of an announcement from Tom yesterday from Devi saying, hey, everyone, I'm excited to describe. We are going to be releasing the Devi Exchange onboard platform Litcraft NicePerience version 6, including Litland and LitLegion today. We are getting all of this out headed into Paris Blockchain Week and our upcoming announcements and activities there. These are huge releases for us, more than a year in the works for each, and I am going to consolidate our community discussions into the Devi and Fias channels. I'll leave the old groups up for the history, but let the communicate in groups from now on, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's really awesome. Oh, bro, I love you so much, man. Pull the lever. I order you. Oh, what up, Omar? How's it going? Meow, meow, meow. Good to see you, Omar. Good to see you. Yeah. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Paris time. You have Ray Quintana from Devi Digital and Paul Bureau from Delubach. This is like the gayest moment in Pokemon anime. I think this is after Giovanni like destroyed Gary for the 8th gym badge. I don't even know if he got that gym badge. Maybe he got it when Team Rocket took over. Yeah, wild stuff. Did you know that Mr. Cartoon is the one that is 859,000 followers. He's the one that has the cool cat thing on VeVe, but he had designed Eminem's iconic Shady Records logo. I didn't know that. You are the 41. Don't sell too cheap. I mean, sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Sean Grasmick, say what's up, bro? What's up, Sean? Meow, 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 meow. Facebook. Remember how in the beginning of the year, Mark Zuckerberg was like, yeah, we're going to roll back the censorship. We're going to be more fair, just like Elon. And he just nuked one of my freaking chats. It's gone. It's gone. He nuked it, saying this message was removed because it doesn't follow our community. The entire freaking chat was like that. Now, I know that in this group here, there were some slurs, there were some racist memes, there were some things that should not be joked about that were joked about. There was some nudity. But come on, man. It's our private DMs and you're just going to nuke it? Go to hell, Zuckerberg. I hate you. I hate you very, very much. Oh, my lordy. That was a good time. Anyone who can't see, all right, so you have Lucady Dukady saying anyone who can't see the potential of the VeVeverse and the absolute fire talent that the community of builders, I just don't know what to tell you. Collectors Gone Digital has an amazing thing. I think it had like a Pokemon vending machine in there. Sean Grasmick just grabbed another Todd up to 6 now, you absolute mad lad. That's a Collector's Gone Digital thing where he again just had a Pokemon like thing in there. Speaking of which, you have SketchLab saying, since release and during downtime, I've slowly been building this, the VeVe Acropolis, which is currently a work in progress. What I can say is that I'm pretty impressed on how what you can create is quite limitless. And as an artist, just how much I could use in the VeVeverse, not only to create a space, but as a background and world building tool for my own comic work process. Love what you created here and looking forward to the future iterations of it, as well as looking forward to sharing completion with everyone. It deserves all the likes. I actually had someone send that to me today from, and well, I'll let you know here, guys. He tagged my collectible, David Yu, Dan Crothers, and Nakomi. He didn't tag Ben, unfortunately, but Ben found it anyway. Guys, even if David doesn't respond, even if like he sees, like I'll tell you right now, he sees it. He sent that to me saying like, hey, this is just another amazing build in the VeVeverse. He is so proud of everyone that's building all these things. Whether it is the Sketch Lab, whether it is Clever Jerk, whether it is Collector's Gone Digital. The Clever Jerk has had some amazing things as well. He is just such a brilliant man. I freaking love that dude. I love him so much. But guys, David sees it. He's so proud of every single one of you that's doing it. He's not proud of me because I have not built anything in there. Maybe he'll be proud of me one day when I do build something in there, when the mobile app version comes out. Sean Berg says, wonder if this third time will be different. Third time of what? Last 2 times we had tariffs as high and a terrible period. Well, last time we did was 2018, and we were, no, granted, there was that 3 to 6 month period where shit sucked. It was my first tariff war as an adult in finance. But after that, we erased all of those losses in like a month. It was beautiful. Henrik Johnson, Bebe, give me those dabs. Meow, meow, meow. All right, let's continue on here, shall we? I'm hoping we see some of the nope. Yeah, I love this video. It was sent to me today saying, y'all can go broke in Victoria's Secret all you want, but these are the gowns that had your grandpa making 10 to 12 babies and paying all the bills. That was hysterical. Another meme that I really like is Raichu going on his chair super fast and then crashing. Gotta love that stuff. Bulbasaur, Barry. In Kuwait, I made Barry the bondage bear. And then I stapled a little eraser to his mouth to make it look like a ball gag. I thought that was hysterical. My coworkers loved it. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff here. Nope. China stock market, what was that, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday suffered the worst single day crash since 2008. And they're not backing down, supposedly. This is me and a homie over in Kuwait. We were homies. Her name was Venegas, and then she got married. So she's no longer Venegas. Cat Bronson, that was his name. That was the dude's name. Okay. Well, Ren says, I meant to say it must have been a hard one to let go. Oh, yeah. That was hard. Yeah, rough times. However, show must go on. So Chamath Palihapitiya had posted the other day saying, consumption taxes incentivize you to work hard, gain success, and consume only what you really need or truly want. It allows those that want to succeed and get ahead. Income taxes instead arbitrarily take from your hard work irrespective of how hard you work or how you live your life. Are you a spender? Are you a saver? Are you burning the midnight oil to get ahead? It doesn't matter. The government takes from you all equally. It may sound okay to some, but those are people without agency or desire to get ahead. Income taxes incentivize mediocrity and is a headwind to get ahead. Separately, but this is for another post, in a post-AI world, the idea of taxing incomes makes no sense anyways, and we will be forced to substitute income taxes for consumption taxes. So let's get ahead of the curve and try taxing companies and outsiders who want access to the US markets and substitute it for income taxes and slowly take them to zero. This is, by the way, how it used to be for 126 years for our country, from 1776 to 1861, and then again from 1872 to 1913. Gotta love that, Jamal. I'm going to screenshot that and go over that again. Yeah, Bitcoin went crazy hard. China plans to cut interest rates and boost government spending to stabilize economy and counter Trump's tariffs. Interesting. Sean Grasmick saying, still playing Pokemon Go, bro. The game is stronger than ever. We had over 400 people in our group for the week. Dude, that sounds so exciting. That sounds like so much fun. Gotta join you one day. Gotta join you. It sounds great. Clean shaven beast mode. Well, not beast mode yet. I'm still a little chonky. Actually, I have a protein shake here. I gotta. Yeah, still a little chonky, but I'm working on it, and hopefully in 6 to 7 months, I will be not chonky anymore. So we shall see. Thank you, J Coolcat, saying don't forget to like and subscribe to help our bro Randy. Why? Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, bro, Devi, $50 in gas fees yesterday with the fudge. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says recent tariffs will likely increase inflation. Agreed. Devi Exchange says Devi Digital CEO Ray Quintana takes the stage tomorrow at 11 a.m. Paris time. He's revealing the Devi Exchange vision that could reshape how the world trades digital assets. Paris Blockchain Week, be ready. Digital asset investment products saw outflows totaling $240 million last week, likely in response to recent U.S. trade tariff news that poses a threat to economic growth. Hong Kong allows crypto staking for licensed platforms, ETFs as a global competition heats up, and Pakistan appoints Changpeng Zhao as strategic advisor on crypto. President Trump, okay, so this was fake news. It was reported that Trump had considered a 90-day pause in tariffs for all countries except China, but that was fake news. That did not happen. The S&P 500 officially entered bear market territory. Trump had posted, the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panikin. A new party based on weak and stupid people. You got to be strong, be courageous, and be patient, and greatness will be the result. A lot of nice words, but my bags are still not good. Arcturus says, hey, did you like my idea of where the top tier OMI staking top tier amount creeps up every few months or $1 million every 6 months? I definitely want, see, it's just the balance is hard because I want to incentivize people to lock up their OMI. However, sorry, I have to sneeze. No, maybe I don't. However, I will say that a lot of people say like, yeah, you know, stake 100 million OMI and get a call with David every week. Guys, David does not have that type of time. Maybe if you did like once a quarter and a group call, yeah, sure. But David does not have that type of time. Any new ideas that can come that could potentially help get people to lock up their OMI, whatever y'all need, whatever is best. Yeah, my man. Okay, let's get this right. European Union is ready to negotiate with the U.S. on tariffs. The Fed has announced an emergency board meeting. Yep, that was today. I don't think we got emergency rate cuts. Let's read what it was about. In anticipation to a closed meeting of board governors, Federal Reserve System will be held under procedures set forth on the board's rules regarding public observation meetings. The board's offices at 20th Street, blah, 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 blah. Review and determination of the Board of Governors of the advance and discount rates to be charged by Federal Reserve banks. I don't know what it was. Trump says there's no inflation and slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Trump has been calling out Powell for a while to cut rates. Definitely wants to. I mean, treasuries are already down. Treasuries were upwards of like 4.8%. They're down to like 4.0%. Get Fed to cut rates, and you are going to get people borrowing money very cheaply, stimulating the economy. Can't wait for that. You do have the Banque de Lubac NC saying bringing DeFi to TradFi. Oh God, I have zero idea what this says. It's all in French. Oh, maybe it's Scrappy? Scrappy Coco saying, good morning, fam. It's starting. The snowball effect is real. Devi is about to go on a run. Partner after partner, momentum building. I saw this with Matic, but this time Devi is light years ahead. When it pops, it's going to explode. Clock's ticking. Don't blink. Here's the English translation of the post. Oh, I didn't. Oh, wow. I could have sworn well, maybe I didn't. Discover how we offer access to crypto without chaos. Do I have to Google Coco Satoshi? Okay. I go to Coco Satoshi. Oh, he follows me. Very nice. He goes on and says this morning, thanks to the efforts of Devi Digital and Banque de l'Ubac-Can-See, it is now possible to access secure tools and systems, making it possible for the first time clients in TradFi to exchange digital assets and other DeFi products. Come meet us to discuss potential collaborations or investment opportunities related to Devi Exchange. Oh, I can't freaking wait. First appearance of a one-of-one collectible in the VeVeverse. Dr. Fuse is the owner of that. Oh, that looks so brilliant. Bill Ackman, one of the largest hedge fund managers, just warned tariffs will cause an economic nuclear war. I would not believe that. Remember when he went on CNBC and said hell is coming during the COVID crash of 2020? And then we had that V-shaped recovery. There's a lot, again, Larry Fink does this as well. There's a lot of billionaire hedge fund managers that will say whatever they can to get you to sell your crypto so that he could buy it cheap, get better entries. That's all they care about. They do not care about retail. Clever Jerk, my man, with Asphalt Alley. Great thing in the VeVeverse that he did. President Trump says countries from all over the world have reached out to negotiate new trade deals. Love that. Sean Burr says 2018 were very low. Versus what is happening today. Last time there was high was 115 years ago in 1910 and led to a bunch of bad economics for the middle and lower class. It's just short term. Hopefully. I mean, again, if China really wants to really fight, they could make this longer term, and that would not be good for anyone. But it's going to be fine. Trump will. I'm very confident. I'm very confident in Trump. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get hacked. Who knows? There was a rumor that says Trump has removed all capital gains tax from stocks and crypto market, but I didn't see any confirmation on that. No roots on the ground. Anyway, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says he won't rule out another 20% market drop. Derp. Larry Fink says we are probably in recession right now. Again, same thing. Just telling people to sell their stuff so we can buy in cheaper. Heck 'em. EU now proposes 25% tariff on U.S. goods from May 16th. We'll see. Again, they're giving themselves like a month to renegotiate that. Yep, 25% tariffs on good. Okay, there's the Devi stuff that I went over. VeVe says, thank you for all your votes for our official VeVe in-app feed creation contest. Randomly, all right, first place winner with the most votes was VeVe Wheels. VeVe Wheels won. Second most votes was Harry Potter. Randomly drawn winner number one is Alex and Crypto 27 and Mega God Jesus. It's amazing. Mega God Jesus. That's so cool. Oh, magical girl. Israel agrees to eliminate trade barriers and trade deficit with the U.S. Brockman Blockchain posts, Thieves' logo promo codes are now in your dashboard. Hope you recall what the majority of the vote was a few weeks back when the majority of folks said that a supply of 137 public editions is super rare, but you do you. I can't believe other countries are now offering things we would have never even thought of asking for. That's great. Oh, look at this. Romulus is a 4-week-old puppy, the world's first dire wolf in 12,500 years. God, that is so cool. God, that is so freaking cool. That is amazing. President Trump urges a slow-moving Fed to cut rates. Trump says oil prices are down, interest rates are down, the slow-moving Fed should cut rates, food prices are down, there is no inflation, and the long-time abused USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised its tariffs by 34% on top of its long-term ridiculously high tariffs. Not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries to not retaliate. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old USA. Our past leaders are to blame for allowing this and so much else to happen to our country. Make America great again. Not gonna lie, I kind of believe that. Oh, missed that. 2 years ago, I was the muscular boy. 70 countries. Yeah, I went over that. Leveraged 2x XRP ETF is launching tomorrow in US despite spot XRP ETF still not being approved. And Galaxy Digital gets SEC nod for US listing. Eyes NASDAQ debut in May. You have the legit Chinese embassy of the US tagging Donald Trump. I think he's just not taking their calls, which is nuts. And Raoul Pal go over and saying, in the end, almost all of the other tariff negotiations and rhetoric are all about getting China to agree to a deal. That is the big prize, and both China and the US understand it and need it. Everything else is negotiation and posturing. China needs a weaker dollar, and the US needs tariffs. Also, the US is trying to shut down China tariff arbitrage using other channels such as Mexico or Vietnam. Agreed, sir. Let's go to X, shall we? Let's go to X and see what people are saying about crypto, about tariffs. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's get it. Take a closer look at the new one-of-one Marvel auction. This one-of-one artwork by Scotty Young of Savage Wolverine is available via silent auction now on the VeVe web app. It looks pretty dope. Looks pretty dope. All right, let's go to the people that I'm following, and let's see what they're saying. Ooh, my back. Synth Daddy says we're all about to be anarchists again. That is hysterical. Synth Daddy has 250,000 followers over on X. Dr. Strange says slacking or stacking. Dr. Strange 381. It's giveaway time. Giveaway is supported by VeVe Official. Watch for details down below. Let me give him some of that straight fire. Straight fire. South Korea. Oh, God. South Korea's Hanwha Aerospace slashes capital increase to $1.6 billion. Hanwha Aerospace, South Korea's top defense contractor, has cut its planned capital increase by a third from $2.6 billion to $1.6 billion. After Financial Supervisory Service demanded clarity on restructuring plus. I don't think anyone really cares about that. All right, the tax that wasn't supposed to spread, but it did. The Revenue Act of 1913 was sold as a narrow, high-bracket tax aimed at the rich. Just 2% of households would pay. Yet within 5 years, wartime pressure turned that top rate from 7% to 77%. The original promise, low rates, limited reach. The reality, sadly, was a federal lever that grew quite fast. Politicians who passed it later expanded it. The exemption shrank, the complexity ballooned, and regional resentment flared. The rich Northeast bore the brunt, sparking cries of class legislation. A century later, nostalgia for the simple tax misses the point. Once created, an income tax was always designed to grow. Original intent didn't stop political convenience. Agreed. In 1913, only 2% of households paid income tax. That is nuts. That is freaking nuts. Can we get back to that, please? Emoji saying tonight at the Oasis, a social lounge. Oh, I think it's done. Yeah, I think he did that. Cool beans. Yeah, Disney is crushing it. Oh, Goofy movie's 30 years old. Damn, I am so old. Oh, we got over here. Arturo says, would be great when Devi Exchange opens. They list OMI day one. They will list OMI. Probably not going to be day one, but they will list OMI. Would be great cross-marketing to U.S. customers. They will, but it's just going to be a bit. It's not going to be right away. Unfortunately, immediately. Sorry, what is that from? Immediately. I was saying interesting space earlier today about tariffs and how it impacted markets. Many people worry. People like Grant Cardone bought Bitcoin at 79K, 78K. Well, 78.9 now, so he's doing all right. Oh God, hiccup. I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling all right, baby. I'ma have the best heckin' night of my life, and wherever. Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, VeVe going in and posting. Oh, they just retweeted emojis. Oasis. Very good, very good. Okay, all right, hold on. I gotta get back. Okay, Kentucky Crossroads is an ad. VeVe Magic saying my entry for the addiction recipe completion. I'm a huge foodie and just made this recipe yesterday, but I felt it inspired to post it. What is it? It's bread. Ooh, some olive oil. Oh god, so good. But I'm on a diet, so I can't. But anyway, the universe works in mysterious ways. I gave that a like. VeVe Magic was live before earlier this morning, and I think VeVe was on there going off and giving their support. Shout out to VeVe and VeVe Magic for the fantastic team that they create. Savid said the VeVe vision is simply amazing. What else can you do to collect premium digital collectibles of the most famous superheroes and villains in the world? Well, on VeVe, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty dope. That looks pretty heckin' dope. Shout out to him for all that he helps create. Oh god, there's a lot of messages here, and I'm not going to get to any of them. Chombo Fett says, guess who's back? Back again. 24K features, magic in the air. Oh, damn, that looks epic. Oh my god. Fire. Again, there's so many people that make such amazing stuff with this. VeVe's going to win, guys. It's going to go crazy, but just got to wait till when. Supreme Court backs Trump, President and Doge can control the money spigot. SCOTUS ruled that Trump has authority over federal funds. Major win for executive power. Every action has been constitutional. Doge, led by Elon Musk, is slashing waste, fraud, and abuse, ripping off taxpayers. Activist judges are finally being reined in. Preach good, sir. Senator Kennedy saying this is the first serious effort to control Washington spending in my lifetime, maybe my entire lifetime of Washington, D.C., actually trying to control its spending. And you can thank President Trump and Elon Musk for that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Brock McBlockchain is kind of going on. He's saying the ghost in my dream kept saying how it's powerless to change things, but it is infuriating to it because we have the power to change anything, but most of the time we just lie down or tweet instead of spinning that wheel. Synthatty says, you don't think I'm smart enough to work in your in your freaking library? That's great. Okay, let's go to my For You page over here. VeVe NFT Comics. What is he looking at? Oh, that's the spy plane from James Bond. Oh, damn, these look dope. Oh my god, how do you get him to shine like that? These look epic. They look really good. I'm just going to give him some hearts here because he deserves the hearts. He's a heart man. My collectibles has finally added a nice 3-digit Fantastic Four number 5 to my comic collection on VeVe. First appearance, Dr. Doom. What is one of your best 3-digit comics you have in your collection? Share below. I'll go over that. You have Believes Crypto saying, are you bullish on the Devi ecosystem? 8 million transactions per second, sub 1 second settlement, 1 millionth the energy uses Bitcoin. This is going to be one to remember, and I will give him some hearts because I love him. He's been on the podcast before. He's really good. Leroy Murphy says, you guys must have wanted this to be me. No thanks, because Josh is obviously a beast. Josh says that would have been more exciting. So Josh will be coming back on the podcast, as well as Ode Osborne. Both OMI homies, both awesome people. Good times. The heck is this? Is this a OMI homie Janie doll? The Chancla of peace, spreading love. Oh my god, this is great. Oh my god, that is hysterical. You have Tina Garcia saying actually we have Scotchy68 saying, I finally own the Grail of Grails comics. When it dropped the first time, I had no clue about comics. Today, after 4 years on VeVe Official, I celebrate my 50th secret rare and my 1,139th comic with this beauty. Looks so good. Looks so good. And then Tina Garcia says, amazing achievement, 50 secret rares. Congrats. Meow, meow. Deadpool becomes a caretaker of Jeff the Land Shark. Love it. Thank you, VeVe, for being so awesome with your stuff. Chris Latte says, I have decided not to do a mass delete if that's great. Meme coin. Presley says, real quick, on Spaces is code for a 10+ minute monologue. Oh, real quick. On spaces is code for a 10-minute monologue. Let's just keep it 100. That's hysterical. Yeah, little puppies. Trump appointed Justice Barrett joins 3 liberals to rule against Trump using Alien Enemies Act for deportations. Oh, damn. Damn, that was a slap in the face. Paris Hilton talking about her kids at the beach. Love Paris Hilton. Don't care about that. Colossal Bioscience. Oh, they're the ones that did the dire wolf. Yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome. Colossal. I gotta see if I can get them on the podcast. That'd be great. Dubes has built this in 5 minutes instead of endless scrolling in the vault. Can't wait to see what you have in store for us in May. Oh my God. Those look so good. See what we got here. And Mr. MC1, I try your patience. No, that's a Mummy reference. Mr. MC1, you try my patience. Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. How you doing, Mr. MC1? Hope you're doing well. My brother. Meow, meow, meow. We have Nick Sortor saying President Trump refused to acknowledge California senators. Hysterical. JD Vance saying this marks my mom's 10th year of sobriety. I'm grateful that we were able to celebrate in the White House with our family. Mom, I'm so proud of you. That is awesome, JD Vance. Nancy May saying when asked, the only complaint of the fake town hall agitators is to state they hate Donald Trump and want to see Elon Musk dead. Jesus. They don't really want a town hall. So stupid, hateful, violent, evil. Nature is Amazing says you are looking at the first ever image of another multi-planet solar system. Surprised we did not have any images of that previously, but yeah, whatever. Maybe they looks evil. Looks like the Eye of Sauron over there. Oh, hell no. Okay. Let's continue on. OMGina says, how many more years do you think Americans will pay taxes? Probably for a while. Oh my God, looks so good. Paris Hilton says, in my mermaid mama era. Oh my God, Paris Hilton, she went to swim at the fish. It's awesome. Yeah. I'd love to get her on the podcast. I think she's an ETH maxi, but we can change that. Texas. Oh, get the fudge out of here. Nope. Not going over that. Oh my God, where's there so much stuff? Scam alert. If you're in the Times Square area in New York City, watch out for these characters. Some of them will milk you dry for your money. Yes, that is Elmo. There's 2 Elmos. Yeah. What they'll do is be like, oh, picture to like these unsuspecting tourists. And oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then they'll like stare into your soul and they'll like demand money. That happened to a buddy of mine once. So there was, I don't know if I should tell the story. I'll say a very lightened version of it. Foster Hilt was in New York. There's nothing to do with the Times Square people. Nothing to do with them. But Foster Hilt was in New York, and he's like, "Hey, me and my boy are at." I think they were in. I forget which park it was. Probably Central Park. And he's like, "We're playing chess," and he's like, "But this guy says like we owe him money for using his tables." I was like, "What the fuck?" So I go over and there's this dude there. And I'm guessing like a chess hustle would be like, yeah, I go in every morning and I buy these tables. So you got to pay me. And I was like, listen, these guys are out of town. Like, I understand your hustle. You know what? I respect it. So I'm going to pay you. But if you try to do this, like he left us alone. I legit threatened him with a very, very nasty threat, and he left us alone. But honestly, in New York, you will get your ass handed to you. You will get your money stolen. Like if you you got to be like fucking like you can't take shit, or else you'll get your shit taken from you. Anyway, damn, yeah, Amy Coney Barrett just not doing the work of Trump. Hallmark Catalog says, I can't get over how much annoyance and frustration Full Self-Driving 13 eliminates from my life. Hours of horrible traffic every day handled for me. Far more annoying than any problem I can solve with an LLM. I'm in awe of what Tesla AI team has done here. That is great. Omar says, hi, Mr. MC1. Milgar says, Sanjay, what up? Sketchlab is like, hey, everyone. I'm waiting. All right, Sketchlab. Do you want to know who messaged me about you today? It was the good man, David Yu, messaging me your post on the VeVeverse and him saying another amazing build in the VeVeverse. And Sketchlab, I liked your stuff yesterday. Ben requoted it today. In case nobody else tells you, and I'm sure, like, let's read all the comments. Comments in crypto saying it's incredible. Casual says it's so lovely. Anthony Duca saying this blows my mind. Miss Gecko saying it's stunning. So many comments here. David is so proud of you and anyone else that builds these magnificent pieces of art. Like, am I Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad? Because that's art, Mr. White. Looks so fucking beautiful. Very talented, and like, Jesus, like this looks so good. And there's still so much more to do with it. Yeah. Yeah, bro. In New York, you got fake monks that just like, you have very strong chi, and they give you this bracelet for good luck. And it's like $20 for the bracelet. I hate New York. I hate New York. I love New York. Best bagels, best pizza, best food, best everything. And the people are pretty awesome. They suck, but they're awesome. Never in my life have I ever seen, outside of New York, have I seen a naked dude power walking like he's late to a meeting and a cop just looking and going back to texting. Yeah, New York's pretty great. So much. Yeah, there's so much. Still so much. Okay, I can't wait. Can't wait. Anywho, let's get back to this. Shiro Nico saying don't fade Shiro. Oh yeah, don't fade Shiro Nico. Can't be faded, no Shiro. Raul Paul, an incredible update. Okay, no. Hey, VeVe liked my status. Why, thank you, VeVe. I think that was from yesterday. So let's continue on here. Nope. Press secretary, leave it. SCOTUS backs Trump. Yep. Now we deport foreign terrorists. Macro Monday, Bitcoin wick fishes, but holds on a close for now. ETH Sol hit hard. No tariff talk in this video. All price action. Grand Central Station, hundreds of pro-Hamas protesters. Okay. Mo Gardner says an easy read guide for Earth 2 article. Great job. That thing is going to go to the freaking moon. I don't know when. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Everyone, please. Oh, wait, we got it. The Power Walker is always by my. Oh, it's not just me that sees him. Is he like a normal dude? Look forward to when it's on open access. I look forward to it too. Yeah, very nice. No country can afford a trade war with U.S., especially if other countries start getting all the action from the U.S. So agree. I in the first part of my video, Mr. MC1, maybe the first 20 minutes, I do go over how China goes in and they could drag this out. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can find it. I'm looking. And they had something today. I don't also 55 cents. Okay, I'm trying to find. Yeah, so I guess around like the 15, maybe like the 10 or 11 or 12 minute mark, whatever. I do go over that about the China stuff. So we shall see. In the end, Trump will also make deals. Agreed. Yep, normal dude that is like that in winter too. Whoa. It's normal. Yeah. It is the pain before the gain. Unwinding years of tariff disparity takes time. I agree. I just don't know when. We shall see. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow. I might do a live tomorrow after the Paris blockchain update for Devi. But at the very least, I'll have my show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. The OMI is my homie show with Dr. Stuff and Crypto Rain. So everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye to Dashi, bye. You know there's zombies on the prowl, 'cause it's terror.